You know, it's hard to say, but we felt like this class that we have coming in next year, we feel like it's probably a little deeper than the one that are true freshmen on our campus right now. So we feel like it probably will be more than last year. Counting on a couple of guys in the secondary. We count on a couple of the tailbacks to be able to help us. It's hard to say you can count on the offensive linemen, but I think you got to try to find out if you can count on them to be backups for you, at least similar to the Darren Miller from last year. So special team wise, you got to try to count on a couple of them, especially the linebackers and the secondary guys. But we need help in the special teams. We need to fill some positions. Danny and Winston was huge for us in the special teams area. So I mean, we got to find out if Avery can help us in the special teams area, which has always done. But now, can he do it as a full-time starter? That's what we got to find out. If he can't, some of the true freshmen have got to help us in that area.
So you don't replace a Danny Trevathan, but how do you?
Well, you do, because we replaced a couple. Sam Maxwell with Danny Trevathan. You know, we got to try to find out if Avery Williamson, if Duffin can replace Danny Trevathan. Because you remember, Danny didn't play a lot of football before, you know, his breakout season as a junior. This is Avery Williamson's junior season. Avery's played a lot more football than Danny. Duffin's played a lot more football than Danny did at this same stage. So we've got to replace him.
Joker Phillips.
So that's no knock on Danny, because
Right.
he's done an outstanding job, but we've got to replace him.
Joker, does Dupree have the?
Everybody's replaceable. Everybody better understand that. I understand that, and they better understand that. Everybody's replaceable.
Does Dupree have the tools to be your next star linebacker?
We think so. He's got the size, he's got the speed, he's got the knowledge. He's a guy we can line up at a lot of different positions. And this is a true freshman we're talking about, because he hasn't finished his first full year of his freshman season, year of college. And he was a guy that we lined up as a rush in, dropped him. We lined him up as a rush in and rushed him from a two-point stance. We got in our three-down stuff. He was our pass rushing specialist. He's done a lot of that. We actually lined him up as an inside backer in the Tennessee game, brought him inside, sack. I mean, this guy has a chance to be a really good player for us.
Do you try and find, especially the punt returners, it hurt not having the punter signing that you have in class, or you will be able to make
Sorry, it hurt not having
the punter signing that you have in class, not having a scholarship punter?
You know what? We'd love to have him in this here already, but you know we don't. But there's plenty of time. You know, there's plenty of time for, you know, Matt State came in here, you know, as a true freshman. You know, he had went through a little growing pains, but by the end of the year, he was a pretty good punter for us. The thing we have to do with most of the high school punters that come in here is have to speed their operation up. You know, and therefore, Coach Nord and Landon's already been talking about those things. Landon's got a coach down there that's working with him. So I think that will help in getting him ready for the season for us.
Joker, have you spoken to Ridge? I know, you know, at points last year, you know, you guys felt like he really turned a corner and, you know, made a lot of progress on and off the field. I know that had to be disappointing for you. Have you spoken to him at all, and just your thoughts on that?
I have not since the dismissal, but you know, disappointing. I mean, I'm not. We hold our kids accountable. We do. We do a really good job of holding our kids accountable for their actions, and we all know that kids don't always make the right decisions, and when they don't, again, we have to take action. We've done that. Hadn't had to do it a lot here. We haven't had to do it a lot, but when they don't make good decisions, I think we've done a really good job of making them, holding them accountable for their actions. So.
Joker, I know this is spring, but let me say this. Let me ask you this. A guy I respect a lot, you know, Johnson, Albert Johnson. He spent about 20 minutes Saturday trying to convince me.
I'm sorry, which Johnson?
Alvis Johnson.
Alvis?
Yeah, he spent about 20 minutes Saturday in the hospitality room trying to convince me that
Finally
Patrick
finds those
Towles,
hospitality rooms.
that Patrick Towles could come in and start right away. Talk about the possibility of that and your experiences with dealing with something like that in the past.
You know, that's a lot of pressure to put on a kid like Patrick. Can Patrick handle it? Yes, I think he can handle it. The pressure of because he's been groomed for it. His comes from a athletic family, athletic background, but it's still a lot of pressure. We're hoping that he can come in here and contribute. We'll try to put some packages together for him to help him. We'll try to put those together as early as we possibly can to give him a chance to play fast for us. That's the thing. That's the key at that position. You got to be able to play fast. You got to be able to see things faster. The speed of the game. And I always say that the biggest adjustment that a high school kid has to understand the speed at which the game is played. You know, they have to understand the speed at which those professors teach. It's a lot faster. And the other thing is they got to figure out the speed at which a good time out over in the dorm could turn into a bad time. Those are the things that I tell our kids about the word speed. So that's the key for Patrick. He's got to find out how fast things happen at this level.
You expect